Cary Tagawa is Shang Tsung. I don't think any Mortal Kombat fan would disagree. Even the new actor in Mortal Kombat 1 is copying his speech patterns, his body language, and honestly, he even sounds like him. Part of me thought it actually was Cary Tagawa in the original trailer, so it may have took a while for developers to realize what fans already understood. Cary Tagawa is Shang Tsung.
Your brother's soul is mine.
He passed away recently, and while that makes me sad, along with many other Mortal Kombat fans, please know he's at peace now, and I like to think he's proud of the legacy he left behind. He starred in several movies and shows besides Mortal Kombat, in fact a lot more films and shows than I realized. But even so, I think he'll be most remembered as Shang Tsung, which I'm hoping he finds awesome, because I certainly do, especially considering how big of an impact Mortal Kombat has on pop culture in general. When you think of American video games, Mortal Kombat comes up. It just does. I feel like most people alive today know about Mortal Kombat, at least a little bit. And Cary Tagawa is a big face of Mortal Kombat, at least the villain. Everyone considers him Shang Tsung. I'm gonna rank my favorite Shang Tsung moments and sprinkle in Cary Tagawa facts the entire time, because after all, today's video is about him. Man, he impacted my childhood so much. In fact, he impacted my recent life too. His performance in Mortal Kombat 11 was nothing short of stellar. Even in his later years, despite being elderly, this man was in movies and shows all the time still. So please leave a like down below for Cary Tagawa, and comment your favorite role he played. For me, it's definitely the first Mortal Kombat movie in 1995. It's just a massive part of my childhood, and I really appreciate how seriously he took the role. You can tell he put 100% effort into his acting, despite this being a video game movie, which, let's be real, was not taken seriously in 1995. And yet, Cary Tagawa tried his best anyway, and I love him for that. So without any further ado, let's begin. Fun fact number 1, Shang Tsung's line, "Your soul is mine," was actually improvised by Cary Tagawa himself. That's right, it was never in the script and yet became the most iconic line for Shang Tsung. It's forever associated with his character. Or in other words, if anybody else was cast to play Shang Tsung, we never would have gotten that iconic line. It came straight from Cary Tagawa's mind, which is so cool to think about. Even decades later, this epic line returned in Mortal Kombat 1, voiced by Cary Tagawa himself once again.
Your soul is mine.
Alright, let's start ranking my favorite Shang Tsung moments. Number 1, making Mileena. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal for me. One of my favorite characters in the entire Mortal Kombat series, and I'm pretty sure many of you watching feel the same. Not only is Shang Tsung iconic in his own right as a character, but also he created one of the top 5 best characters in Mortal Kombat history, and I'll die on that hill. I really do think Mileena embodies Mortal Kombat so perfectly. She's sexy, she's violent, creepy, aggressive, all that incredible stuff. However, get this, Shang Tsung's made other Tarkatan hybrids. That's right. In his ending for Mortal Kombat vs. DC, he combines their DNA with Captain Marvel, which is the original name for Shazam, in case anyone watching doesn't know. And yeah, Shang Tsung combines his DNA with Tarkatans to create a race of super warriors, which is really cool in its own right, but also, damn, look at those hoes next to Shang Tsung. Did you know Shang Tsung gets hoes? Also, this game is rated T for teen. How did they get away with this? Man, older games were just different. Yeah, anyways, creating Mileena is a legendary moment for Shang Tsung. Actually, it's an all-time favorite, let's be real. For another iconic Shang Tsung moment, let's skip all the way to MK11. It's a niche situation, right? Many of you watching have seen this, but might not find it as amazing as I do. That's okay, it's my video, I want to talk about this. In Mortal Kombat 11, Shang Tsung throws a fireball at one of Baraka's henchmen. It clearly misses, but still magically sends this Tarkatan into an acid bath, which is already hilarious in his own right, but it's the apology that makes this moment amazing. Cary Tagawa is so sarcastic and it's incredible.
My sincere apologies.
Yeah, see what I mean? I feel like only Cary Tagawa could pull this off. His sarcastic tone is so satisfying and deliciously evil. You can just tell he loves killing off that random henchman, even though he did it by mistake. Yeah, this moment is definitely amazing for me. Maybe not an all-time favorite, but I do think about it all the time. Cary Tagawa fun fact number 2. While most of you watching likely know him for his role as Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, Cary Tagawa is also famous for being the grandfather in Johnny Tsunami. Yeah, he plays a good good guy. Unfortunately, I've never seen this movie, which sucks because the screenshots on Google look really fun. And make no mistake, this film is very popular. I bet many of you watching have seen the movie, I just happen to have missed it. In fact, my girlfriend's seen the movie too and gave me the spark notes. Cary Hiroyuki-Tagawa plays the grandfather of the main character and apparently was a great surfer in his younger years. So in the movie, he's always encouraging his grandson and just being a wholesome character in general, which is awesome, and I find it so cool that despite being a big villain in Mortal Kombat, Cary Hiroyuki-Tagawa is also famous for being a good guy in Johnny Tsunami. In fact, he might actually be more famous for this if you don't play video games, right? Which a lot of people still don't. But as we all know, Shang Tsung is mostly known for being evil, so let's talk about Mortal Kombat 1, when he creates Tarkat. That's right, I'm pretty sure Shang Tsung invented the entire disease himself in this game, because his fatal blow alone is proof. He injects you with the mystery serum, then your body erupts in Tarkat spikes immediately after. Yeah, it's never directly stated in this game, but I do think Shang Tsung invented the Tarkat disease. Now, why would he do that? I think he wanted to cure it and gain favor in the royal family. Yeah, that way he goes from poor to royal servant overnight. I really do think Shang Tsung invented Tarkat just to cure it. Now, as for Mileena, I'm not sure if he infected her on purpose or not, but my gut says yes, because come on, what's the fastest way to become the queen's favorite sorcerer? Cure her daughter of Tarkat, at least temporarily, that way she's forced to keep you around. But next up, here's a cool fun fact. The monster Shang Tsung makes in his second finisher has a split jaw that looks oddly similar to Mileena's face, which has led many gamers to believe that Mileena was poisoned with a different type of Tarkat than everyone else. Or in other words, Shang Tsung created a new strain of Tarkat just for Mileena, and that's why her face looks different than everyone else. Which is not confirmed, but regardless, this might be the most evil version of Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat history, and that's saying something, because he's evil in every single game. But come on, think about it, this man invented an entire disease that infects a ton of people, right, by the thousands, and he did all of that just to become rich and powerful. Yeah, that's next level evil. I don't care what anybody says, MK1 Shang Tsung might be the most evil version. But with that said, MK11 Shang Tsung took over the entire universe. That's right, if you pick him at the end, then Shang Tsung wins the fight and conquers the entire universe in Mortal Kombat 11, which a lot of people thought was non-canon at the time and just a fun what-if scenario. However, guess what? I never thought that. You can double check my old videos because I kept saying this might be what actually happens. It might be real somehow in the sequel. And guess what? I was right. Mortal Kombat 1 made this ending real because it turns out both victories are canon in their own right, because apparently Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung was such a powerful fight that it ripped reality in two, which created separate outcomes for the fight, and also two completely different universes, one where Liu Kang is the Titan and another where Shang Tsung is the Titan instead. Now, does that make very much sense? Not really, but who cares? Shang Tsung is now officially the only villain to conquer all the realms, which is why I should put this moment at the tippity top, but sadly he invades Liu Kang's realm after and gets himself erased. Yeah, that definitely knocks him down to legendary status. Only Shang Tsung could conquer the entire universe and still find a way to die and lose it all. Cary Hiroyuki-Tagawa fun fact number 3. He's acted in way more stuff than you realize. No, seriously, look at this long list of acting roles. Even after age 70, he was still acting in movies and shows. What a legend, man. You can tell he really loves acting and kept doing it for as long as possible. I definitely recommend checking out his Wikipedia page and looking at all the stuff he starred in. Next up, let's talk about defeating Superman. Yeah, Shang Tsung actually did that in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, which you might think puts him all the way up here in all-time favorites, but no, because turns out the game itself explains how power levels are fluctuating due to the universes merging. Or in other words, characters win and lose based on plot, instead of it being actual skill. How did Sonya defeat Shazam? Plot reasons, or rather plot armor, and the same is true for Shang Tsung, which is why him defeating Superman is just great and not that amazing. Cary Hiroyuki-Tagawa fun fact number 4, he's played Shang Tsung 3 different times, or to be more specific, he's played Shang Tsung in 3 different timelines. Yep, which makes sense when you realize he's so dang good at it. Like, why would you hire anybody else to be Shang Tsung if Cary's available? He's just too good at portraying the character. As mentioned earlier, when you think of Shang Tsung, you see his face, and the directors know that, which is why he plays Shang Tsung in the first movie, right, 1995. Then he plays Shang Tsung again in Mortal Kombat Legacy series on Machinima, which in my opinion, not a very good show whatsoever, but Cary Tagawa kills it like always, does a great job with Shang Tsung. Then of course in Mortal Kombat 11, he plays Shang Tsung too. I think everyone watching knows about that because MK11 is the best-selling Mortal Kombat game like ever of all time. But yeah, for Cary Tagawa, it's really impressive how he's brought back to play Shang Tsung 3 different times. Just imagine being so good at your role that the directors keep bringing you back for decades to come. That's very impressive. You know what? Let's talk about Shang Tsung as the final boss, because to this day, I think it's nearly perfect. Fighting Shang Tsung in the very first Mortal Kombat was scary. The entire tone of the fight just feels darker than every previous match before. Also, his fireballs scream at you, which is really freaky. It gave me goosebumps as a kid. I didn't even mention his constant shapeshifting, by the way, which is creepy too, and also a technical triumph. For an arcade game to be able to do that is really impressive for the time. Most other fighting game bosses are just regular characters, but then you have Shang Tsung constantly transforming into everyone on the roster on a whim. That's really cool and a technical triumph in my opinion. Then for the next game, Mortal Kombat 2, you could do this as a player. That's right, you could transform into anybody on the roster. Same for Mortal Kombat 3. It got removed in later games unfortunately because they were too big, right? Took up too much space. The older games were small files, so it was easier to have him transform into everybody. But once the 3D era got here, Shang Tsung could no longer transform into everybody. Yeah, I would say Shang Tsung as the final boss is an all-time favorite for me. It's so cool, even to this day, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, which might just be nostalgia, but still, it's really cool. Cary Tagawa, fun fact number 5. He plays the main villain in the Batman video game. Yeah, that's right, not just any villain, but the main villain. That's honestly so cool, because that's Batman, dude. It's the animated series Batman. Look at this game cover. Cary Tagawa's villain is on the cover, and he voices the main villain for Batman during like his prime? Wow, that's some really impressive reach if you ask me. Cary Tagawa being a main villain in a Batman game is so impressive, because think about how small that list is, right? How many people get to voice the main villain in a Batman game? Alright everyone, that's it for today's video. Rest in peace, Cary Tagawa. May your soul be strong forever. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.